decided, let's just do one. Don't have to do anything formal, 2 weeks, event management, no nonsense. You just send out the friends and come over. So I prepared a few things to share with you all today. Okay? Now, whilst the theme is Employment Amendment Act 2022, why is it called that way? This is the mandated law now. Right? They call it Employment Amendment Act 2022. This supersedes everything else before. If anything that is, let's say last time you got 10 days and this one said 12 days, now we follow 12 days. This supersedes everything. Okay? Now, while we were talking, we also thought about what should we share about the law. If I tell you about the law, you can actually read it here. Right? You can Google now, what's the changes, you'll get the whole list. Right? But what we wanted to talk about was, how is this going to impact the daily business? How is this going to impact your labor costs? How is this going to impact your day-to-day employing people? So all this has got an impact because of it. Right? Why the law was amended was because the Employment Act itself was made in 1955. Right? It's a complete photocopy of the English labor law. Right? Where the law is, like you asked me, why the law is so pro-employee. Well, the law was made to protect employees. Right? Okay, I'm 57 years old. The first time I started working, my basic salary was 350 ringgit. Right? 10 years ago in Malaysia, the basic salary, some people are getting 600 ringgit. Right? So why the law comes in? It says, look, hey, this is not working anymore. 600 ringgit doesn't even cover, it's not even hitting the inflation level. Right? So the law mandates say now you have to pay 1,000. But as we have grown, prices of things have gone up, inflation rate gone up, now the law is setting at 1,005. Why? If you do business in Malaysia, you complain about minimum wage. You go to do business in US and see. The minimum wage has been around there before us, way before us. There's a minimum wage for everything. That means you go to offer someone $10 or something and say, nothing less than $20, I don't do this. And it is right. So Malaysia is going that way. Right? This law was changed to make the Malaysian employment law look, one, very humane, right? Make it more, how should I say, in line with the international labor standards, like countries like Norway and all that, where they talk about limited reduction in working hours, better protection. So that has happened, right? So these are the little things that happen. What I'm going to touch on today is these three things. Okay? Okay. Have you heard this term before? Contract of service and contract for service. Right? A lot of people, what's the difference? What's still contract?
I can't understand it.
Right? Okay.
Contract of services.
A contract of service is actually an employment contract. The relationship is employer. Right? There is a relationship. That means this fellow work for you, you pay him a monthly wages and you control his movement, meaning working hours, place of work, like Aaron must give the tools, you control everything. That makes you the employer. Right? So in contract of service, there's three types. One is a part-timer's contract, permanent contract, and there's another one fixed term, which I'll go to the next page. Just briefly, what is a part-timer's contract? In the business that you all are in, especially F&B, you'll find that you'll have a lot of part-timers, right?
Yeah.
Right. Anybody who works, let's say the normal working hours is 45 now. Anybody who works between 30% to 70% of the normal working hours of 45 hours is considered a part-timer, whether you give him a contract or not. If let's say someone working for me, after 3 months he says, hey, I work here every day 6 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours, right? And I work every day. Hey, am I like a permanent part-timer? Right? So he goes to me and says, boss, you know what? I got benefit, you know. And I say, no need lah. No lah, you just work as part-timer. Now he goes to labor department and says, I work for company A, my boss name is Daniel. You know, every day I work so many hours, once a week I get off. And you know what, this is my working hours. But I think I don't have a part-timer's contract. I don't have the benefit. What benefits? Part-timers are eligible for annual leave, medical leave,
PHOT, overtime, everything under the part-timers regulation 2010. Last time in Malaysia, we don't have it. Why they brought that is because again, they needed to control and also to ensure that there is at least a certain minimum wage that the part-timer can get or certain minimum hours that they can get. And they are protected by the law. Right? So you have to pay them EPF, SOPSO. SOPSO, why? SOPSO is social insurance. Alright, so why they if you don't pay SOPSO, imagine something happens to this worker in your place. Right? It's got no insurance coverage, it's got no protection, and if he becomes permanently disabled, nobody's going to help him. So that's why then at that time that happens, let's say an incident happens in your place, the first question they'll ask is this guy an employee? Or is this a part-timer? Really? How long does he work for you? Because the moment an employee gets something here, it becomes a labor department issue. And you have to answer to them. Right? So these are things you need to watch out for. So everything they are eligible for. Of course, you all know the permanent contract, right? It's up to retirement. Right? This is not a permanent, but up to retirement. 60 years old, retired. But 10 years ago, our retirement age was 55. Now it's at 60. Right? Why, people ask? Why? Because those days you feel that nowadays, those days our economy, if you look at it, we what? Rubber tappers, mine workers, all these kind of very labor-driven jobs. After 55, engine tak boleh pakai buang. Right? But the world has changed. Now there's a lot of knowledge workers. Right? If you look at in terms of knowledge worker and so on, it's changed. And in terms of even the hard labor has changed a lot. People don't go to factory and carry things. No, everything even sometimes you go to the really high-end factories, fantastic chain. Guy walking, the forklift walking beside him. You go, what the hell? Like this, what? Oh, so tough. Today got so many orders. Oh, you don't even carry one box, man. But you're so tired because everything is so automated. So the lifespan of currently is higher. Our ability to do work is more. Okay? Ask the second thing. When in Malaysia, when you tell people to retire at 55,
at 55 they retire, they support all their EPF out. EPF got no money. So the longer you let people work, the longer you can collect just to keep you. Okay? This is the dangerous one. You need to look out for. A lot of companies tend to use this. Right? Fixed term employment contract. Why? Okay? Fixed term employment contract can, let's say Adrian, Christine, you got a project, let's say like you are doing brand management, right? Let's say now you got a project in Vietnam and you need people only for 6 months for that project. Go there, set up, employed, done, 6 months come back. Right? You can do that. It's like a permanent contract where you pay the statutory, the taxes, everything, but it's fixed 6 months. At the end of the expiry of the contract, it's considered gone. If let's say you say, I'm going to renew, then different. But if let's say you don't say anything, that means at the end of let's say it's end of January 31st, contract deemed expired. You don't even have to issue a letter. Exactly, unless you want to redeem it.
Why is this dangerous?
Okay, a lot of organizations in Malaysia, right, they use fixed term contract. Why? Fixed term contract after 1 year or 6 months you can let go, right? So Malaysia government also keep quiet many years, right? Then they said, oh no, fixed term contract only 3 times can renew. That means 12. The third time it must be a full permanent already, right? But then as we always say, people try to go around the law. Now the law come back and say very simple. Now I want you to see a genuine requirement for fixed term contract. There must be a genuine requirement. That means projects. Right? Maybe you want to put someone in your customer's place for 2 months or 6 months or a year. After that, you don't have that position in your company, right? Sometimes you may need to employ someone and place him somewhere. After 12 months, you may not have that position in your company. So gone. That is okay. But let's say in your company you have an accounts clerk, right? And you give her a 12 months contract. And then after 12 months, you renew again. After 12 months, you renew again. Third time, you tell her, you're no good, I don't want you. She takes that to go to labor. You are now be charged for wrongful dismissal. Right? Number one, the position is permanent. The work is permanent. Why are you hiring people on temporary? So that itself we call in it's a legal term, the employer acted with mala fide. That means you already acted with bad intention. That's why I put there. The key question the court will ask to determine in an employment dispute is whether the fixed term contract is in fact genuine or a permanent contract disguised as a fixed term instead. Right? I'm handling one case now for my client. Right? And this is the second renewal. Ready? I said either you stop the renewal now, you proceed to one more, then you cannot do anything anymore.
Which
Right.
means you can't renew it.
No, you can't terminate the contract anymore already without any valid reason. Right? And in Malaysia, you see this thing. When somebody takes you to IR, you could have done everything right, but as long as they feel it's wrongful, they can file a claim. Right? And if you are not, your contracts are not written properly and there's a lot of ambiguity in your contract, your potential exposure, always remember, 24 months plus length of service in Malaysia, straight off. And those days, when the case goes to IR, it will go to the IR first time it's meeting to settle. Cannot be, then it goes to Director General, then Director General goes to Minister. Now no. Now nothing happening here, can directly goes to Minister, then to court. In an IR situation, whether you are right or wrong, the moment somebody takes you to IR and you have to go to court, whether you're on the right or wrong, you have to engage a lawyer. And the lawyers nowadays won't cost you anything less than 35 to 60,000, depending on the lawyer. The really good ones will cost you 60,000. Easy. Because surefire win. But whether you win or loss, you still have to pay your legal fee, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we must be very careful how we write our contracts. Right? So always remember, when it's a fixed term, it's purely fixed term. That means I need someone for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. It makes sense in your business because you're doing branding and all that kind of stuff. You may not need the person for 6 years, need only 1 year. 1 year. Make it very clear, this job only 1 year. After that, I don't have a position for you. A lot of times you get into trouble when it's a permanent position. And you'll be surprised that a lot of organizations do this. Right? And now this year, everybody, in December, everybody kalang kabut because, Daniel, how? I say it's very simple. Those going to finish 2 years, you want to stop, you better stop now. Those who are already over the 2 years, too bad, you have to make them permanent. Because the law now, because when they go, last time it was quite ambiguous. So 50-50 chance. Now no more 50-50. The moment somebody goes and says, look, I'm wrongfully dismissed, first thing they ask you, what kind of contract you have? Fixed term, you are finished. There itself, the company already lost the case already. So in the first meeting, in the last 6 months or 3 months, negotiate like 3 months salary and pay. Because the exposure is later lawyer fee plus compensation, which can easily touch anything 100,000, 150,000 total. Right? So this is very important in terms of employment contracts. So in your business, you must know, nobody expects you to employ a lot of people. But when you employ someone, you need to give them a proper document. And now in Malaysia, the law says within 30 days, must give a letter. I have known a company, when I was doing the audit, I realized that people in the file, but they don't have an employment letter. The letters are not signed and it's there, it's not signed. So I asked the owner of the company, why do you do that? Oh no, I'll see if they can work, if cannot work, and then I stop them like that. So no, I never give contract. I say, doesn't make any difference. Right? Whether you give him an appointment letter or not, doesn't make any difference. The moment the first day the guy comes into your office, punch card or scan, whatever, it's an employee. You pay at the end of his work, he's come and done his work. Let's say the end of the month, the first month you pay him salary. Second month you pay him salary. Third month you send him salary. Fourth month you say, I don't want this guy, you want. You got evidence now, you have paid him salary. By that action, you have made him the employee. So in Malaysia, very simple. They say, oh, I didn't work. By your action, now you have proved that this guy is your employee. So very important. There's a lot of people until today are thinking they can manipulate the employment with this kind of contracts. Not going to work. Moving forward, it's not going to work with the new law. Right? Why? Because JTK has not gone out checking in a long time. Now with the new law in, they are going to go everywhere and check. And they are like more higher than the police. Police also need to go get warrant to come to your place. All they need is the ID card only. JTK. Give me all the facts. You got no say. You say the one, no problem. They will come with a bigger this one with a subpoena. Right? IR court, let's say you declare yourself bankrupt, IR court will come, sell all your property, pay the employee first. After that, you don't pay all the other utang. You pay the employee first. So it's that powerful, Malaysian courts. Okay, civil court, you can fight it out. Labor court, industrial court, you go, you're on the losing side from the beginning. So how do you avoid is to make sure your documentation is right. Right, you need to ensure your contracts are right. Right, if this person is a permanent position, put it up as a permanent position. If it's going to be 3 months, 3 months, it's okay. If it's going to be part-time, pay that. No harm. Right, because the cost or the consequences of not doing so, nowadays no more 10,000 fine, straight 50,000. And the JTK officer has the option, for 5 employees, should I give him 1 compound for each employee or should I give 1 for the company? They have that discretion. One company cannot because they were very gun-ho, calculate 10. Our friend put 5 each, he opened 10 files. 50,000 you cannot on the spot. Because he was telling nicely, Jenny, the JTK was saying, yeah, trying to explain, you want to show, okay, come on, I'll give you. Take out 10 files, saman. 5,000, 15,000. For no reason. Right? So now they make the compound even more bigger. Straight away you cannot 50,000. Okay? So this is something you need to look out for when you're employing people. Okay? Either you put them on a part-timers contract or permanent contract if you need them, or a fixed-term contract. Depending on, it will be very suitable for you, Adrian, because the type of business you do, you may not need people for a long time. So you can use this. But it has to be made very clear that the position is not a permanent position. Okay?
So just now the part-time was from any time from 30% to 70%.
Of the normal working hours. That means between 30 to 70% of the normal working hours if somebody works, that means they are part-timers. Now if you ask me what if somebody works less than 30%, we call them casual worker. No need contract, nothing.
Right.
No contract period. Alright?
So you use the word permanent part-timer.
Okay, why is that I use the word permanent part-timer was because a lot of times we employ part-timer on a permanent basis, right? You come for me, work for me 5 days a week, 6 days a week, even in the cafe you have students working, right? Those days when I used to be banquet manager at Shangri-La, I have a lot of school students come work for me in the weekend, for hourly rate. But I also at the same time have part-timers who come and work for me during the day. Certain hours they'll come work for me. Because in banquet, we really don't keep a lot of full-time staff. Our full-time team is very little. We always have part-timers who work for me on a permanent basis. Those guys, we pay them all this. The EPF, SOXO, they are small deducted. Right? They also work other places also. One of them works in a petrol station, last time in Dato Kramat, but in the morning he comes and work with us. Like for 6 hours, 5 hours.
It's a fixed number of hours.
We have put him in our roster.
Okay.
Alright, and also if you've got something to calculate his salary, right, in that also it shows there's a fixed. That means you must give that person a
Contract.
part-timer's contract. Right? If someone comes to work for you 1 week once, twice, even let's say you got a lot of things to unload, all that is considered casual worker. No implication in the labor. Yes, bro.
So earlier you mentioned it's a fine line where the companies will try to weave between full-time employment and part-time employment. So I'm trying to not part-time, like fixed term business, the other side. So maybe I'm quite low on understanding this, but I don't understand how companies benefit between each other.
Okay, right. How companies benefit on a fixed term? Easier to get rid of people. Right? When I'm on a permanent design, I simply cannot fire anybody. Although the employment contract will say each party has to give for whatever reason, the termination is 1 month, 2 months. A lot of people think that for whatever reason is actually It's something for make the letter look good only. It doesn't hold water in court. Right? But the thing is that people don't understand for whatever reason. That means it could be a disciplinary reason, it could be a resignation reason, it could be a retirement reason. You see? So a lot of employers will try to use this contract because you know what? I look at my business 1 year, no good, I get rid of it. Right? If you are a new shop, you want to do business, actually I recommend, take 1 year. Tell the guys, I only can afford to pay out 1 year. After 1 year, we talk about it. No harm. It's an offer, it's a willing buyer, willing seller. I offer you, I've told you this is the situation. Now that you do, after 3 months, you don't come and complain to me, no? But I already told you, I'm only targeting 12 months. Who can say to you, you're the business owner, it's your money. Like you all asked me just now, employer got right or not? Yes.
The number one right, you have the right to run the business the way you see fit. If you want to run your business from 3 a.m. to next day 11 a.m., it's up to you. You offer people a job, they come and work, they cannot complain.
I work from, hello, I employ you, you accept it. Right? So that's why, but this is used to actually get rid of people easy. Some company will tell you, oh, first 6 months you work on fixed term, it's like a probation. After that, we give you a permanent contract. Okay? Right? But here's the dangerous part of that. You give them a 6 months contract, turn out to be really superstar, right? Really work very hard. Don't you think other people also know he's a superstar? While working for you, somebody else will offer him a job. He's only 6 months, he'll just drop you like a bad habit, he will go already. Right? So always remember, you want to give someone a contract, give it about 12 months. Because 3 months is for job basis. But if you want someone to really work, you want to see an employee's capability, 12 months. The 3 months probational, I cannot really depend on the position. Right? You come manager position, there's no such thing as you come, you learn. You come as manager, you're supposed to know the job. No such thing, I need to learn. Hello, brother, I hired you because you're expert, man. That's why I pay you the 10,000. That means from day one, you're expected to do the job. So the higher the people are, easier to fire.
Is that confined to the fact that the job scope is not provided?
No, job scope provided.
Must it be provided?
Okay, to be on the safe side must always be provided. You see, in Malaysia, there's this culture, you know. They give the job description, item 1, item 2, item 3. And then item number 27 will be, you know what now? You shall be required to do whatever the management asks you to do. You know why I put item number 27? Many years ago when I was doing HR audit, you know, I was doing HR audit and I was looking at this JD and that was the funniest JD we have ever read. It has like almost 30 over items for one guy to do, 30 items inside there. So the 27 item, 27 was that you shall be required to carry out any task, right, as given by management or personnel appointed by management. That means not only the management, any idiot can ask you to do work.
And is that wrong?
Huh? Well, you know, it can't stand in court.
It can't.
The IR court judge will ask you, okay, he's a driver, right? But he didn't do the job, he didn't throw garbage. That's what I ask you. IR court chairman will ask, is he a driver or garbage collector? Driver. That means you find you unfair job terms, job scope.
Makes sense.
Right? So they'll go like that. So a lot of times, I always tell, a job description should not be more than 5, 6 items. Right? Don't tell me a job got 20, that's task. Right? If somebody can tell my job is to check all MC. Hello, I'll slap your face. As a HR manager, your job is to check employee records. Not check MC alone. Employee records are like 30 items for you to check. You don't go list out 30 for me. Your job is check records. Accounts clerk cannot come and tell you, my job, number 1, open laptop. Number 2, check the account receivable. Number 3, check. Hello, your job is to make sure the account, okay, 5 items, betul. If you really go back, pick up all the jobs that in your company, right? And list down. If you pass 6, oh, that job you better pay more already, you know? Because a job, for example, you're a barista, right? What is the barista's job? Number 1. Done, bro. Finish. Game over. Make sure the coffee machine is in working order, right? Make sure the coffee machine is clean according to schedule. Ensure the quality of the coffee beans are fresh. Ensure all containers are closed tight, right? But that is 3 jobs, right? That's only one mark. Ensure quality at all times. I say 3 things, but I can put it all in one. Ensure quality at all times. Finish ready. Button I won't write. Make sure the container is closed, fridge is at this temperature, all that is task mark, checklist. So a job cannot go than more than 5, 6 key roles.
So in that case, I can just use 2 words to sum up any job scope. I want quality, I want efficiency.
Okay. Under quality, you must be able to tell them what do you define as quality.
And what do I define as efficiency?
Your expectations, what is efficiency? So you must be able to put a number to it. For example, we say efficiency. So let's say we are production, right? Normal production before training only can hit maybe 300 kgs. Now after training, we hit almost 600 kg. Why? Training ready, efficiency has gone up. Production has gone up because of employee are now better. So you look at it like that. So when we put anything out there, it cannot be ambiguous, it cannot be challenged. Right? Even the way you rate a performance, oh, this guy, a performance no good. I remember my GM almost tarik his rambut with me. Mate, you're not really up to my expectation. Oh, really, boss? Please define. Sit down, here's a piece of paper, write down for me where I'm not doing well. No, mate, a general boss, write down. Let me teach you 101 of HR. Write down. I could not write down. Say, let's go have a beer and I'll tell you why you could not write down. You can't do that because you yourself don't know what you want from that guy. So if Aaron says, I want the coffee this way, Aaron must be able to put a picture of the latte to show what's the tender. Those days when I was a bar manager, I did this. I took the hotel's Polaroid camera. I'm 57, so you know I'm quite old, right? Right? So took the Polaroid, unlike you guys with headphone and all that, Polaroid, right? Close to 100 old pictures of cocktails, whatever we are serving, and I put it at the board at the back in the bar. My boss asked me, what are you doing? Idiot proving. Right? The recipes are there. I'm making it so idiot proof that even an idiot can do it. Right? You know why? People come here and, oh, Margarita must look like this. Okay, it's there already. The recipe is there, it's there. When you open the recipe book, there's a picture also there. Right? So how do you teach people at that low level? So standard, man. So if developer come and tell you, I don't know how to do. Hey, meanwhile, you see this also you cannot do. Right? So now if I go to court now and I say, no, I've trained my people well, I've set the standard right, I can prove. Here are my recipe books. Here are my pictures. This is the standard I've set. How can you go wrong? Right? So once I've set that properly, then I can do it. Right? But we are in the business of HR, right? How do I rate my people under me? How fast do they advise? How fast? First one is turnaround time. Number 2, how good is your advice? If you covered everything in that advisor, because I've given you the standard of advising. Right? If you go, somebody sends you an email, you do not have 5 questions to ask the customer, I'll slap your face. I'm just joking. I'll smack your head. The moment an inquiry comes in, there'll be like 10, 15 questions you can ask. That's how we set the standard. So you must set the standard like that first. Once you set the standards, everything is clear. I want quality, I want efficiency. Refer to the standards. See that? It's so easier for you. So everything you need to put sort of like a standard or a expectation. At the same time, you must give them the parameters to operate. If you don't give them the right parameter to operate, problem also. Right? Tools must be given. Everything must be given before we say you did not perform.
It's always a struggle between who is smarter with words, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a lot of time, I think the challenge is that when you don't list anything explicitly out, they will just pick on those that is relatively obvious and say that it's not stated.
I'm 57 years old, okay? I'm successfully, I wouldn't say about my business, but I'm very successfully married.
Good for you.
Okay? Why? Why? It's We have after the first 3 years, I sat down and I said, this is not going to go. This is not going to fly. So I sat down with my wife and said, darling, can you talk? Cannot have too much ambiguity. I love you like the moon candle, I want money candle, but we talk practical, it has to be fact, it has to be defined. So when you tell me I did not do something, you have to tell me exactly what I didn't do. Just like if I come to you and say, you're a useless wife, is that nice? Or rather I come to you, Daddy, can you stop the phone for a while? I'm very direct. Right? So, as I said, I'm successfully married because I always clearly define things. I was traveling with Sam to KL, exactly what time I leave, what time I expected to reach there, what time I'm leaving KL, what time I'm coming back. Why? I define it properly. Right? She needs to pick me up somewhere, she cannot tell me, hey, you didn't give me the right time. My time is so right, spot on, even the location to pick me up is spot on. Why? It's very important. A lot of times, I've had a lot of friends who had successful marriage and unsuccessful marriage. And you ask them, what is the issue? Communication. Not defined properly. Like, we have people like the guys who work for Sam. If Sam one day says, bro, you're really not up to my expectation, and you leave it at that, if he takes it, okay, but then he'll go crazy, what am I doing wrong? And then it tells him, no, you're doing A, B, C, D wrong. He can turn around and ask him, okay, how do I do A, B, C, D right there? That's the example. See? So this is very important. It's a very thin line. Okay? So, in a contract, that has to be spelled very clearly. Okay? Right. This is contract for service. Right? So, who do we hire for service? Right? For example, Sam and I, we are Chari Esha. So when somebody engages us, that's a contract for service. For me to provide you HR services. You have cleaners working for you, right? Or any cleaning company working for you, they also fall under that. Right? But a lot of Malaysian companies, again, our guys are looking everywhere. I don't want to pay APF, I don't want to pay MC. Okay, wow, contract for service. My friend tell me, in Google can do lah. Okay, right? Or as long as there's a contractor, client, or contractor service provider. Right? Where the relationship is client and service provider. There's no employment here. Right? The funny thing is that a lot of people write this contract, your monthly salary will be. They don't write monthly fee. In this contract, you don't give MC, you don't give annual leave, you don't give anything. It's for them to provide you a service and how much you're going to pay a month. Right? A lot of companies also do this bad thing. They give this, you are required to be at the principal's location from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. On Saturday and Sunday, you don't have to come to the office. That's already working hours, ma'am. Right? So if there is a dispute, and the guy and the boy wins, or I say the staff win, right? What do you need to do? You need to, number one, first pay him. Let's say he worked for you for 2 years, right? You need to pay him his 2 years backdated EPF, 2 years backdated SOCSO, 2 years backdated LHDN if it's one is there, must do that. Alright? And then what else you need to give him? His MC, whatever that he was deprived of. Whatever number of years he worked. So again, up to the discretion of the labor department to compound you or not. Right? And it has happened. I think I shared with you guys a clinic, a dental clinic, they got many branches. So when they engage us to do their HR stuff and all that, while doing the audit, we discovered they were paying the overtime wrong. The calculation was wrong. So I told the owner, doctor, this is wrong. There's only two ways. If somebody reads it now, they go to labor, we are in trouble. But let's reverse this, let's go to labor first, ourselves. Let's go and safeguard ourselves first. So we went to labor, we explained the situation, told them this is the situation. Now I engaged a consultant, now he's told me I'm wrong. So how do I go about to rectify this? So they told us, now you pay up whatever who's working now, those who are left, you have to pay up also. So he did it. He came prepared. So let's say he didn't know and somebody went and complained. Big trouble. Okay? So this is very important. So the key points you need to see here, client and service provider or contractor relationship. Does business for their own account, not covered by Employment Act, statutory benefits do not apply. So very careful with this. Okay, now, why the difference? Why you need to discern difference? Okay, the word that you like to see is to determine an individual's legal position to file a claim. Right? The distinction is crucial to determine the statutory protection. That means they need to decide whether it's an employee or it's a service provider. Or is it a fixed term, or is it a long-term position, or is it a genuine? All these you'll decide. Okay? Right? The test will be this. What is the level of control does the company have over the individual? Right? For example, Sam engages me. Right? All it tells me is, hey, I want my monthly payroll done. Right? And I want the statutory source settled. Okay? He doesn't have to tell me what day I have to go to office, nothing. My contract is him to process payroll and send it to him. He doesn't have any control of how I work. Okay, I was in a consultancy project with a Japanese company, right? And after the second day, I was having a meeting with the Japanese guy, and I say, hey, look guys, I think, let me tell you something before I actually file a claim against you. If I want to, I say, I'm your external consultant, right? And you expect me to come to office at 8 o'clock, leave the office at 5. I say, I'm not an employee. I'm supposed to go to lunch when you guys go to lunch and all that. I say, if that's the case, there's only two options. Either I leave this contract, cancel this, go, or I come only at my terms. Third one, why I'm telling you this, if after 6 months you still want to follow this, then I'll file against you. That I'm a permanent employee and you're paying me like this. The Japanese guy laughed. He said, really, yes, you don't control me. The moment you control me, I will let you control me for 1 year. After that, I'll come with a big, nice, hefty bill for you. You paid me that, thank you very much for all the fee, brother, but you owe me all this now. My fee was 10,000 rand. So this is the statutory requirement you need to pay. Right? When I explained that to the Japanese, oh, really? They say, you keep your culture in your country. You come here. Consultants are consultants. They cannot be made to follow your rules. Right? Even you engage somebody to do, let's say, cleaning work. Every morning come to the office, 5 hours clean. Right? You put down on a service agreement. That means contract, every day you come, I pay you 50 ringgit. Right? But from 6 hours become 8 hours, then 9 hours, then hey, you do this for a while, do that for a while, do that. After 3 years, she go file a complaint and let's say she touched 60 already, this Amma go and file a complaint. I worked there 10 years, they give me this. The Amma no need to even find a lawyer, no need even to write a complaint. You are dead there and there already. You are finished. They will give you one option only. Lo bayar ke mau caught. They won't even negotiate with you at that time. Okay? Why I'm saying this? This has happened in Malaysia. A lot of times it's happened. So the control test is how much control you have someone. Once you dictate the working hours, working location, working standard, uniform, all that, employee. Right? It's immediately employee. Okay. Right. Any question before we move to the next one? Yes, madam.
Yeah, because now the hours, the normal working hours, you say that that is for 45
Yes.
hours.
Yes.
It's a new law, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if divided by 9, which is 8 hours working and then 1 hour break,
Yeah.
right? So it's 5 days. But in F&B, it's only 1 day off. So how to
Okay.
follow this one?
Very simple. You can actually use this option, madam. See, in FMB you're operating 6 days, right? And in that 6 days you did normally it's 8 hours. You can look at 7.5. You'll come back to 45 nicely, right? And if I'm also sharing with Aaron the other day, you see, F&B outlets, you can even run 2 days off also.
Okay.
2 days off. I used to run Dome last time. My business is quite into very, very high business. I still give people 2 days off.
Oh. Okay.
Right? Rostering is actually up to you all, madam. Up to the employer. You put the roster. People want to work low, don't want to work and resign and leave. You're not cheating anybody. As long as you are within that 45 hours, up to you. Like I said, the rule number 1 in Malaysia, the employer is allowed to run their business the way they seem fit. If one day you want to give people 3 days, 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 hours, and then 2 days you give 7.5, 15 hours, 45 hours counting ma. But if you let's say put someone for 10 hours in a shift, imagine you got 5 people working 10 hours, you are covered already, all your peak hours. Your exposure for overtime also goes down. Right, so don't worry, the 45 hours is a limit. Right, but employer has the right to schedule accordingly to the business needs.
So now the limit is only by weekly or present?
Okay, on an average of 3 weeks, you have to be 45. Let's say you take 3 weeks working hour and you divide 3, it has to come to 45. Okay, so that is how it works. Right? For example, I'm rostered to work from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Right? That's 10 hours, right? And you have to give a 1 hour break, right? That 1 hour cannot be outside the 10 hours. It has to be within the 10 hours. Okay, in your company different. Because the moment people go for lunch, the work stops. His company different. His staff go for break, the business is still running. Okay, so must remember that even there are very smart. Huh? For those where the business stops, no issue. The lunch can be broken, 1 hour given, non-paid. But those one shift, right, which is continuous, the break is paid. It's within the working hours. You go to factory, people will give you a break at 10 a.m., they'll give you a coffee break. Or sometimes they'll give you a break at 11 a.m. to maybe 11:30, lunch break. But later down the road, they'll give you another 15-minute break for tea break, just to cover that 45 minutes. Right? So if you're working 9 hours, split it up, 4, 5 and 4 break in the middle. Okay, so we can do the roster any way you like, madam. Okay. Any question anymore?
Which means anything above 45 hours, it has to be overtime.
Yeah.
So charge on a weekly basis.
No. You see, this is the standard they set for you. Right? If you don't want your employee to claim overtime from you for working this, so on an average, you cover 45 hours, you're safe. However, let's say today I'm supposed to work 7 to maybe 5, right? Now I finish work. You cannot come and tell me at 5 o'clock, you work for me 2 hours, and tomorrow you come later 2 hours. I will tell you, no, you pay me OT for the 2 hours. I already finished my normal hours of work. Anything addition, you pay me OT. By giving me, let's say I work for you 2 hours, you're supposed to pay me 3 hours. Because 1 hour is equivalent to 1.5. Right? So if I work 1 hour, you're supposed to pay me 1.5 hours. But let's say you come and I replace you 1 hour. That means you're cheating me already half an hour. So if I work for you 2 hours, it's best to, I want the OT. You want to replace, I can say no. I don't want. I want OT. You have no choice, must comply that. Right? Because the roster says 7 to 5. Right? Unless what you do that day itself in the morning, or the day before, bro, I'm going to change your roster. You need additionally 2 hours for me. And then it's not, give it back to you. Finish. That one okay. Because it's been made. But last minute you go to the guy, that's overtime already. Okay?
So anything defined by the roster is perfectly fine.
Anything perfectly fine. Alright? As long as you don't go above the 45.
Yeah.
Anymore. Anything.
Yeah.
Yes, madam.
Oh yeah. Okay, so for instance, you see Chinese restaurant,
Mm.
so their working time is like very
Lunch, dinner.
Yeah.
Lunch, dinner. They do lunch and then a split shift.
Yeah, split shift. So in between, from 3 to 6, they are literally says it's off. You can go off. You can go back and sleep. You can shower and come back. So it can be done this way.
Yes. Okay, for split shift, madam, remember, the working hours has to be 8. How many hours you don't have to stop and give a meal break, no need. Let's say they work for lunch, like 11 to 3. Stop. After that, you come back to work only at 6. So that 2 hours is the break ready. Right? So you can do that, don't worry. It can be done.
So for the 11 to 3, they have to take care of themselves that there's no break time for their lunch.
The break is considered, that's the break ready. That's the break.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, for split shift, that's the thing you get. However, it will be best to give a split shift allowance.
Split shift allowance, okay.
Because when you put someone on a split shift, right, They are not working morning, they are not working evening. They are just there the whole damn day. So that's like a, how should I say, a hardship allowance, bro? To appreciate that, okay lah, I give you maybe 10 ringgit or 8 ringgit, depending on the affordability, you must give. Because night shift, split shift, all this must give allowance. Right?
So my meaning is like if it's from 11 to 3 is the shift, split shift, right? So and the company provide them lunch and dinner, so they should come in and eat before the working time.
Yes. Or after.
Yes,
Either before 11 or after 11.
not during.
Not during. Okay? Because the nature of work is split shift. Okay? Because it gives the employee time to rest also. Okay? Okay. Now, this is a bit of a crazy one, this one. The law says now everybody is covered. Right? Everybody is covered. That means, as far as the law is concerned, that means anybody, even come in at the level of CEO, must be given an appointment letter. Right? Even the CEO can go take your dispute to Labour Department like now can. Right? The CEO also must be given proper notice. Right? In Malaysia, 2 years, I think 2019 there was a case. This company terminated the CEO. Right? The CEO took the company to IR court. He won 2.4 million. His salary, imagine how big. So his total compensation he was 36 months salary. 24 months for the compensation plus years of service. So 36 months salary. 2.45 million. Before that, also a Penang company, right? It's a holiday company. The country manager was terminated unfairly. She won 1.25 million. Salary plus length of compensation plus length of service. 36 months before. Last time we say a high position is it wrong, right? I just say that. Consequence also same. Now the law is like that. So, but those who are earning above 4,000, like 4,100, 4,200, all cannot get overtime. They are not covered for this. Okay, so those people who are earning now 3,800 in your company, better increase their salary by another 300, make it 4,100. Right? You don't want anybody to come and claim OT from you. Okay? The cost of you actually paying the extra 300 will be cheaper than the OT. Okay? You take 4,000 and divide by 26 days, that's a lot of money. Okay? So, basically the law says now everybody is protected. That means you must give them the employment letter, they must be given the due process, all must follow. Right? Except the higher earners are not eligible for these things. Okay? This is the first schedule of the act. Right? Next, this one I already spoke to you on this now, right? So I just put the options there. Okay? Alright, Aaron, if this is, take note, the maximum overtime hours is not changed, still the same, 104. Right? In Malaysia, we have set a limit for overtime. You cannot exceed 104 hours.
In worst case scenario, exceed now.
Huh?
In worst case scenario, exceed now.
You must make sure that that exceeded part is not in your payroll.
What does it mean though? 104 hours inclusive of 45 hours?
No.
This
What
is
it
a
means
big
is take
deal.
note, only covers reduction in total working hours, alright, from 48 to 45. However, the maximum hours for overtime still remains. The law doesn't change that. 104. So it's, for your question,
Per week?
per month.
Per month.
Per month. Oh. So, what you need to do is, the 104, you pay on the books. Anything above 104, you pay on the books. Okay? But if I were you, limit it down. Tell employees, look, I can only pay you 104 hours maximum. Okay, anything above, I replace you with. If you work for 2 hours, I replace you with 3 hours. Just put it like that. Okay? Or give them a half day, something like that. But because the moment you exceed, they will be happy, they'll take the money. Only when they want to come and cari pasal with you, they'll tell you, they'll report. Oh, you know, they forced me to work extra more than the 104 hours. Employee like this, when they're happy, they keep quiet. When they want to cari pasal with you, they can do anything. Okay? Right. So this is working hours generally. You see a lot of company actually now only work 40 hours. You guys work how many hours? 40 hours, right? A week. Right? Sam, from next week we make sure we make them work extra 5 hours. One company, recently one of my clients called me this morning as the best joke. She asked me, now, last time our working hours is about almost 42.5 hours only people work per week. But now with the roster we changed everything, people have to work 45 hours. I said, yeah. Is it okay or not? I said, no, fine. You're within the law, don't worry. You can do that. No, we heard some people want to strike. What? Yeah, they want to strike. Because they're saying last time they worked lesser hours, now they make more hours. See, never mind, you go tell all your employees, gather up, go to JTK and report. No, I think they're going to strike. Strike can lah. Call police man. Illegal to strike in Malaysia. You see, the mentality of people. Ask you to work 48 hours last time, but I make you work only 42 hours and I pay you. You never make noise. But now I just make you work 45 hours, you want to go strike for me. Funny, right? Right? It's like Sam now tell his boys, guys, I think every day now I put extra 1 hour. Why? 5 days cover the 5 hours. So now 45 hours. Suddenly our hero here, look, wow, suddenly I work long hours every day. Now I work what? 9 hours. Last time I work 8 hours, that also no. Last time 8, only 7 hours you work, 1 hour you makan. See? Okay, so working hours, don't worry so much. Alright? It is the 3 hours is actually, it only impacts companies which are in manufacturing, hotels and everybody. Especially those who operate around the clock. Right? They are really affected. But companies like he's affected. Being in the F&B business, you are definitely affected. Right? But people like us in the service industry, like more like giving a consultancy service, we are not affected. Generally, we work only 40 hours a week. HQ in care also only work 40 hours a week. So I was jokingly telling everybody, I think I want to increase everybody's working hour by 1 hour. Right? But the thing is that, at the moment, only industries which go on shifts and all that are affected by this. Right? Even then, madam, you can actually do this. 6 days, right? 5 days you make them work, how should I say, 8 hours, make it 40. 1 day you make it 5. Cannot say anything to you also. You can make 10, 10, 10, then make it 7.5, 7.5. Also come back to 45. Right? So you can even look at it. So again, roster up to company. You can set the roster any way you think fit to run the business. Right? Like I was telling earlier, if your roster is 3 a.m. to 11 a.m., too bad. 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. I do business. Right? Imagine the Nasi Kandar fellow in Queen Street. If his working hours, he starts only at 8 o'clock those days. Imagine you want to work for him, your work hours starts at 8 a.m. 8 p.m. sorry. Right? So that's how we run our business. So don't worry so much about this. Okay? This one. This one you have to take into consideration. Last time, yes?
So it says like for example the below 2 years, 14 sick leave, 60 hospitalization leave, total sick leave is 74 days. That makes sense to me. However, it says for the second one, 2 years to 5 years, it's 18 days sick leave and 60 days.
Oh, so that's a typo. Typo. That's a typo. 57 years old. The typo. Okay, so what does this mean? Last time, before the change, the total sick leave allocation is 60 days, of which 14 days will go as outpatient MC. 46 days will be for hospitalization. But even that guy is hospitalized for 60 days, still can cover. So total 60 days. Right? Now, what the law has changed is that they remove one of the conditions, right, that says you shall get in aggregate 60 days. They changed that out. They changed it to you shall be eligible to 60 days paid hospitalization leave. So now what it happens is 14 times 6 plus 60 plus becomes 74. That means January onward, anybody walking in here for the first time to work with you, they are already eligible for 74 days sick leave. Okay? And recently someone asked me, The fellow just start work, 2 weeks, fall down, back problem. Right? So I asked her, I said, Madam, where did he fall down? Was it at work or was it at home? At home. I said, you know what, God is very kind to you. If he had fallen down at work, you are liable until he gets well.
Because if he's at home, he's not working.
It's not working. The accident happened during non-working hours. And let's say you went to see a doctor. Let's say, for example, oh, I got a bad injury. Where would you go? To a GP or to the hospital? To a GP, that is clinic, or to the hospital? Hospital, right? So somebody comes and tells, I fall down. You can't give me an MC from a clinic. I'll tell the person straight to his face, hey, you and I know this is bullshit, right? But I have no choice but to accept it. I always tell this to people, I say, look, you and I know this is bullshit, but you know what? According to law, I cannot say anything, ma. Right? Remember, I accept. Look. You talk like that to your people and see, you think next time they dare bring an MC to you or not. My favorite, so you're really sick, lah. Wow, you don't look dead to me. Right? People say I'm merciless, right? But you know why now? On an average, it's 50-50. Right? People will come take sick. Like I've got company doctors who call me and, hey, I tell you a story, your staff come to me, I say, yeah. She say all kind of nonsense. I check, she's fine. I want to send her back to work. She wanted an MC. So, and I told her, never mind, I'll call you. She said, he told the staff, never mind, I call your boss, I checked with your boss. She got up and she left. Because the moment I put the panel clinic, my MCs went down. Because non-panel clinic MC comes in, you have to take to the panel to verify. They must validate to say, yes, you were not well. And then suddenly MC go down. Because in Malaysia, people think like this. I got annual leave 14 days, MC 14 days, PH 11 days. Okay, all in all, I got 39 days. Alright, man, plenty. MC normally people will get Friday or Monday. Or if you're working on Saturday or Sunday. Right? Last time I do briefing right to my staff during operations. I tell, okay, hey, hello, please tell me now, how many of you going to take MC? At least I can get part-timer ready. All will stand there, especially the usual suspect. You going to be okay this weekend? Are you okay? Better tell me now. Because no point hiding the secret, ma. You know you're going to do it. I know you're going to do it. Might as well let's have it in the open. I tell you, when I do that, all the MC go down. Because I'll tell the other stuff. You are suffering not because of me. You're suffering your friend will come to work. I'll make it like that. This is how I manage all these issues. I'll let the people manage themselves. You are suffering today because your friend didn't turn up. And I'll make sure I put your close friend, right? Very good friend, right? I'll put you in a station which is gila busy, you take care alone. Hey boss, I'm alone. You're supposed to have your friend MC. I cannot take people from other station. Sorry, yeah. I'll try to help you. You die one day, die 2 days, next day your friend comes to work, you're going to be friend anymore. You screwed me up. That's how you manage people. You go and tell them, they're not going to follow you. You need to manage them here. You need to make them feel taking an MC is a sin. I remember when I was in the hotel, I met this girl, very common MC queen, everybody tell me. So one day she had a paper cut and she went to the clinic, during work, paper cut, went to the clinic, came back, MC, one day. I'm looking at my colleague and others, boys, bro, are we stupid or what, bro? What? We should have, how many cuts I got in a day, no? Glass cut, this cut, that. This one just paper cut, come back. And she's a captain, huh? So you know what I did? 1 week, I put her in the pantry. Your job every day, you come to, not well enough to be in front. Suddenly you faint out, stay inside. 1 week, I put her there. Week 1 finish, off day, come back, she came to work, first person she came to me. She said, can I ask you something? Don't put me in the pantry anymore. For you to get out from the pantry, you need to get a doctor's letter to say, you're fine. Go. My boss standing in the corner laughing, said, bloody hell. Why? Very simple. The moment you make MC, you come to work with proud like that, you need to be taught a lesson. Legally, I cannot take action against you, man. But doesn't mean I keep quiet. So I'm very vocal. I'll tell straight to the face. This is genuine. Ah? Betul ka? Yesterday you were okay. Well, this morning wake up suddenly fever come out already. Hello, fever start 24 hours earlier, you know. Not immediately wake up this morning got fever. Doctor also will laugh at you. It's not medically possible for you to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, not got fever. Not possible. True? Before you go to bed, you already got the symptoms already. So all these, as managers, we should not be shy. Especially if you're a business owner, no need to be shy. Right? Staff expect the sympathy. Oh, you know, like my daughter went to work. So she was an MC, and then the next day she went to work, she kena cow from everybody. I was checking, she came back, oh, you know, nobody is, you know, compassionate. I was sick. You think they care? You think that your boss is your father or your mother? They pay you a salary to go to work, you don't go to work, and then you took an MC. Hey, you work for me also, kena the same thing, ma. Betul tak? Right? So, when someone takes MC, make sure you know it's genuine. Okay, if it's not genuine, take them to task. So now you know your boss is listening. You guys already worried already. How to take MC? That's Daniel teaching. Another thing, MC favorite, guys. This one you'll get. Boss, I on MC today, not well. You'll get that morning, sometimes 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. Normally how you respond? Okay, take care. And then you scratch your head. Oh, who's going to replace that? Me, no. It's 7:30 in the morning. Have you seen the doctor? No. That means you're planning to be on leave today. So might as well don't need to go to clinic, just take the keys. Right? Are you telling? Oh, you not yet see the doctor, you already declare MC, ma. That means you confirm not going to come. Che, walk to the office. I walk in at 8:45, see the staff sitting there. Hey, why are you here? No, boss. Well already. Very simple message only. Have you seen the doctor? Not yet. Oh, not yet. You're already an MC. Take them to task. Another one. Doctor not well, so I have to take MC. Or take emergency leave. Hey, no problem, go ahead. And by the way, is your husband on emergency leave also? You married, right? You got husband and wife, right? Right? If something happened in the house, why I must suffer the emergency leave? Your husband's company cannot suffer. Ask them that. Is your husband on emergency leave also? I'll stop it. I know the answer cannot come on. Next day, come sit in front of me, you know you're going to cry. I say, what? That means, I pay you coupon, your husband's company pay him salary low. Oh, that means I stupid, your husband's company very smart. Nampak? You think they're going to dare take emergency leave again? You have to give that, but you must confront it. The law is that guideline only. How you manage it is very important. So don't be shy. Okay? Because at the end of the day, somebody is an MC, you're paying them the salary. Right now, that gives you the right to question it. Okay? You have to accept it. Legally, you must accept. But doesn't mean you keep quiet. Okay? Right? So remember that this thing like lottery ticket for the staff already. Now your staff will be planning 74 days plus 11 plus 14. Whoa, 100 days in leave. Oh. Your total exposure to leave is 100 days. 74 plus 11, how much ready? 85. 85 plus another 14. 99 days ready. So your potential loss in man hour this year is at this rate is already 99 days ready, 100 days ready. Belum start apa-apa sudah 100-day exposure. So as a business, scary, right? So how do you manage that? That one cannot control, you know. You know the easiest to get MC, you know, where? You know? GH, accident emergency at 11 p.m. Doctor too tired to bother, I'll just keep it at GH, emergency department, easiest to get MC. Alright? All you have to do, go with your wife, put the head on the shoulder and then go in for a while, come back, comfort the MC. GH is the easiest. Right? And I always, whenever I get GHMC, I always take it holding in the light. Why? People tend to change the dates. So doctor, you know, like normal doctor already like Leonardo da Vinci already writing. Government doctor like you was one, bro. You don't know what, the 3 and the 5, all that will be funny, you know. They will change, so I always hold it upside in the light. check, is it being manipulated? A lot of times I catch people doing that. Oh, that one is free ticket to whack on the spot market. Already. Cheating is one thing you can terminate if you have the proof immediately. Right? If somebody comes and cheats you $1, what do you do? Normally, somebody siphon $1, what do you do?
One is a bit, it's small, so you sort of get caught in between whether to take action.
Fire the person.
Fire the person.
What? Hey, you steal 10 cents of my money also, I'm slapping you and I'll fire you. 10 cents my money.
I get it. It's because if it's $1, it'll stop them going higher.
Remember? The 1 cent thief? This guy in Malaysia is a real story, became a millionaire, stealing 1 cent from every account every day.
Wow.
1 cent only. Right? So, even if the person steals 1 ringgit, take the tip, put in the pocket, should not be in your place anymore. That's already dishonesty. Right? It's either dishonesty, what? Take 100 only dishonest, 100 not dishonest. So always the test is this, right? Can a woman be half pregnant? Cannot, right? Right? Can a woman be half pregnant? Cannot, right? Same thing. Either you are right or you are wrong. You cannot be in between. Either it's wrong or right. Cannot be in between. So remember that even 1 ringgit, you take action. Okay? So here, people will manipulate. Careful with that. In Penang, I tell you, another easy cowboy town to get MC. So, a lot of these old retiring doctors, like in their 60s, 70s, you look still driving Proton Saga, you know already. This clinic, you confirm how many days MC you can get. Why? That's how they attract business. Tanjong Tokong used to be a clinic. Oh, lama, when I was in Dome, I can actually write a storybook on that clinic punya MC. Practically out of the 5, 3 will be from there. So one day I got an MC from the staff. Fine. Pasar Malam Tanjong Tokong is every Saturday those days. So I got a call from one of my staff. He said, "Boss, come to Pasar Malam now." I just went there. This girl who gave me the MC with the fiance. Wait for Pasar Malam. I just go behind. Hey, how are you? Hey, let's say hi. Okay, okay. I just keep walking. Next day she didn't come to work already. You're finished. You took an MC and outside there, of you still want to come back. Right? So remember, you make it very clear what you tolerate, what you don't tolerate. MC, from the beginning, you must make it very clear. If you are genuinely sick, please do so. But if you play with me, I find out, I'm not going to keep quiet. When someone joins you new, every time MC, you must confirm the person. Don't confirm lah. Simple as that. So, careful. This is a big problem in Malaysia. Right? Everybody thinks a 14-day MC is their entitlement. Right? So you must be careful. When first come, they already plan already. 2023, January, I'm going to take 2 days MC. And then March, maybe I need holiday, I need another 2 days MC. Maybe before Hari Raya, I take another 2 days MC. Because I need to travel to Kelantan. Voila. Right? The whole, you take his whole holiday plan, MC here, there, churi here, emergency leave, all plan already. Okay? Maka, Sam, we need to change the panel clinic already.
I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay? Okay? This is, you need to be careful now. Remember, I was talking about the contracts.
Yeah.
I wanted to highlight this. Okay? You see, those days, with this one, no dispute. What employer do, you take, you got no fight. But now, under section 101C, failure to issue a contract within 30 days is an offense. Okay? It's considered an employee if the manner, remember I said the control, manner and the hours of work are subject to the control and direction of another person. So, the law now has come up with this thing to do the test. Right? Same thing for the part-timers also. It's linked. Okay? So because in Malaysia, this is all has been happening for the last 15, 20 years. There's been totally going, how should I say, everybody is following their own way of doing things. You know or not? In KL you go, a lot of company will hire intern. Right? Internship is actually slavery. cheap labor. Right? When I was the HR manager in Berjaya, I actually sent out a ruling, a policy. Every department head must give me a new employee training plan and an intern training plan. You don't give it to me, you'll be issued a warning letter from the HR department. Right? Why? I give you intern, you know what they do? Like buruh kasar, until the intern can faint. I say, you're stupid or what? Where is the training plan? So anybody come training. So that we did, we realized a lot of people started writing to Berjaya, ask for internship. They know they can come, they will learn, at the same time they will work. Right? But a lot of companies, especially small companies, take interns, pay them like 500 and all that, and then make them work the full time. Like the same intern goes to JTK now and says, I'm taken as an intern, but I do the work of a normal staff. Our working hours are so normal. This case, you're gonna compound straight away at 50,000. After that, you have to pay back whatever you owe staff. Okay? So this happened in Malaysia because the abuse is so much in the last 4 or 5 years. Total abuse. Right? Total abuse to a level that, how should I say, when I was doing an audit for an organization, halfway through the audit, I just pulled out and I told my partner, I'm not going to continue this job. Bro, cannot. Too many illegal things. Too many illegal things. You prepare a payroll return, all the calculation is there, but that's not the money the employee are getting. You audit and then you look. You audit, you look, hey, what the heck? Because when they audit, they give you the payroll return, but they forget they also give me the payroll file. All it's been paid out and all that, they forgot. So when you take it, that doesn't match. So because of all this issue, going to labor all the time, they put this in. Because at the end of the day, how should I say, if somebody works for you, you need to know who's their employer, what is their employment level. If it's a service provider, make sure it's a service provider. If it's somebody who's going to work for you part-time, make sure it's a part-time worker. Right? If it's a permanent employee, just make sure it's a permanent employee. Just give the rightful contract. Right? If not, you'll be faced with this. Last time, they don't have much avenue to go and file a complaint. Now with the change, yes.
What is your advice then? So, part-timer especially, and those that work within that 30 to 70 hours, that's 7% of 45 hours, but they request us not to pay them EPF so that they have more take.
No problem.
We can do
Can. Provided they have sent that request to you formally. That means even a WhatsApp message will do. Right? In my company last time, there are people who come and work for us, they tell us, hey bro, I have a lot of financial problems, I don't want EPFs also. Right? Okay, write me a letter. When you apply, just write for me, saying that you don't want this and all that, and I will accept it, finish that. So I pay you straight off. Right? A lot of people request that, especially about 6-7 years back. A lot of people going through financial issues, especially outside. So the only way is that, imagine if you're earning 10,000, right? If EPF, you know how much money gone already from your account. So what they do, Naimala, take that as a fee. So when we pay them, we put it as a service fee. We completely rechange put them as our consultants, although they are our employees. Right? We put them as consultants, but we pay them the full salary.
So they have to actually be out. They are not
Out of the payroll already.
Out of the payroll, they are not employed.
Yeah.
So they have to register their own company.
No, they work first. You don't have to register. It's just a service provider. For example, those guys, you are not required to give me the MC, but you might have show me the MC. Right? I don't even put you on my service agreement with you is very clear. Nothing mentioned on MC. Nothing mentioned on everything. Nothing mentioned. Annual leave or nothing. But verbally, there's an understanding. Why? Verbally, I also can deny my anytime. So verbally, we have an understanding. One MC, you have to take MC, however, you need to come and show me. But don't have to submit. Even their payroll, we do separate account. Never include people. Now, always remember to be safe. Right? If you are a casual worker, you got part-timer, you got full-time workers, put the salary report separately. When you put a service provider's payroll service fee in your payroll report, automatically you are telling the government that this is a permanent employee. So it has to be in a separate payroll slip, a separate payroll processing. Cannot be processed together. Because the implication you give is, it's a permanent employment contract. So always remember, kalau boleh, permanent, part-time. Separate your salary processing. You may be a lot, it's not a lot, it's still going to process, right? Process them different file, that's it. Don't put in the same file. Avoid it, all this. Break it, easier. So there's no element of ambiguity.
Let's split the database up.
Split the, the salary processing, split. This is part-timer, this is full-timer, this is service provider. Right? I have a client last time in Ipoh, college. Many years this lady come and do the cleaning for him, we put her under a service provider contract. Right? And first time I did the contract, my friend was asking my client, hey, how come not do working hours and all that? I said, you want a full-time cleaner to work for you or somebody can help you? I said, verbally we told the lady, every day you come in the morning, you clean this part, after that you don't even have to be here. After that you come and do this, you do this. So weekly we give a schedule, what to do, toilets, this and all that, do lah. The schedule sits there but she doesn't even follow the schedule. She will do whatever she needs to do and then 6-7 hours she's gone off already. Right? But the contract was about a dispute because someone influenced her and she wanted to claim for this. So I just put her a salary on her shoulder. Tell me where am I showing you a full-time employee? You come to work, I don't put hours. You come clean this on Monday. What time you come in? You come at 12 o'clock, I don't care. We're supposed to be clean with you. Did I put a time there? See, they cannot dispute it already. Because she was touching 58, 60, the family thought they can come back and nail my client for some money. We had everything documented. Monthly calendar some. I said, bro, it's not only photocopy. I don't know. Just copy it only. Just change the date, print, change the date, print. Same damn calendar, put different color. Right? But to show there's a schedule for this person to follow. Right? So that means you're not my permanent staff. But this is the type of work you need to do, your scope. I don't put hours, man. So if you come here at 9 o'clock and clean the toilet until 12 o'clock, I don't say you must clean it in 1 hour. But verbally I'll tell you, hey, make sure by 10 o'clock the restaurant is ready to be served. So it's very important how you draft this. Okay? Okay. This one ladies, all the young ladies, from 60 to 98 days. Right? This one following Norway, all the European countries which are doing very well, right? They're following that one. Right? Because they don't understand. In society like that, that's a knowledge workers, right? You go to Norway, you'll find very little really buro kasa. You'll find a lot of them are knowledge workers, right? Of course, in a country like that, it is suitable, ma. Right? Because all are knowledge workers. Right? Imagine a production factory. Somebody nowadays you go to the most of the factory, it's all female. Nothing against female. Imagine I'm the factory owner. Suddenly I got, out of the 1,000 employees, I got 200 female. Wow, very good. Out of the 200 female, 100 getting married next year. You know already. Potentially, you got 9,000 days, 9,800 days lost in man-hour. Right? So, does that mean we don't hire female employees? We do. Right? But you need to be able to see what are the jobs which, you know what, like people can still work for you. Right? Because the law says, let's say somebody come in, they are eligible, right? But let's say they just join you and they're not eligible for the maternity leave. They are still allowed to go the 98 days. However, they'll be unpaid. But they can even come back before the 98 days is over. After 60 days, they can come back to work also, provided you have a mutual agreement. But for those who are entitled, 98 days. So, my suggestion, make sure when you take someone married, how many children? Anything above 5, you hire. Less than 5 children? How many? 4. 4 I put it. 3 I KYV already. You know what? I got almost, how should I say, almost 200 days exposure already. You know, so we must be very, doesn't mean we this one. It's all about how you optimize your people in the industry that you're in. Long before they came up with remote working, home working and all that, 15-20 years ago, Aisha Consulting was drafting working from home contracts already. We had a client who had a fantastic marketing person. She does both in media, for both Europe and all that. So she got married and then she wanted to, after the first child, while the pregnancy, she wanted to resign. Right? So we proposed to the client, put her on a flexible working from home. Certain allowance we take out because you're not traveling anymore, we take out. After she delivered, she said, I think I want to give up. She's a well-off lady. I want to give up, I don't want to work anymore. My client don't want to lose her, he's top-notch, cannot lose her. Go back, offer. You work from home, once a week come to office. She happy. Only need her brain only, we don't need her physically down there. 10, 15 years ago, we already did this already. Right? You don't have to have physically to have the person there. But let's say go to the production, let's say in manufacturing, cannot Factory floor, you cannot expect a pregnant woman to be there. Right? At the same time now, if a pregnant lady comes for an interview with you, would you hire her? Depending, right? If it's a position, for example, you ask her how many months pregnant she is. I am 3 months pregnant. You want to work for me for 6 months contract? You work for me 6 months work. After that, you go for your maternity, you come back. I'll see how it goes. But now I didn't give you 6 months contract. Right? Or you can tell her, you can work for me. Fine, no problem. This is the standard salary I pay for this position. But however, since you're going to be at home most of the time, I tell you what, I'll pay you at this level. Are you okay? These are the things you need to achieve, you can work from home. But I pay you lesser. Can work. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's the talent we need, not the physical person to be there. Right? Nowadays, with all this, when I tell people I'm in a meeting, actually I can be in the meeting, still play WhatsApp. Why? It's Zoom meeting. Right? Google Meet. We don't actually meet physically. Right? A lot of organizations, actually, even we got clients in Aisha now, HQs in Australia. The employees are all over Malaysia. Our job is to pay the payroll. Right? We've got a Singaporean company, same thing. Company HQ in Singapore. Staffs are based in Malaysia, but they don't have an office. People still do their job, they still achieve the target, they still get their bonuses. Right? So the world has changed a lot in terms of how we operate, right? So if me nowadays, I consider, because physically I don't need you, I just need your brain, your knowledge, and your capability, and it can be anywhere. Even Sri Lanka also is okay as long as you can answer my email. So just it is there, but you need to work around it. Especially in yours, you don't really need that kind of physical work, right? Yours is all about more creativity and all that. So in that sense, I won't take. Right? If someone comes 6 months pregnant, 3 more months to send, okay, I tell you what, you work for me 2 months first, I pay your salary. Let's do this. After 1 month, you finish this, you come back, then we consider something else. Because sometimes you just need them for that short period of time. And all you want is that expertise only. So we need to be a bit creative like that, sense and open-minded. Right? Because the first impression I got from a lot of factory, like this, female cannot hire anymore. And you go to most of the factory in Prai, Batumong and everywhere, it's female. And every time when the law came out, I was driving one day past the factory, I said, if I am the owner of this factory, dude, I'll be so scared. You know what? At that point when I turned and looked, all I could see was female. The only male there was the security guard. So that's the only guy not going for maternity leave. Everybody else is going. Okay? This one, right? Last time, father, wife give birth, husband was going to apply for leave. Right? Now, those days, some company give as a benefit, paternity 3 days. But now it's law, by law mandated 7 days. But also for 5 children. But here's the thing, if you look at the law, law is very biased, okay? For the female, it doesn't have this word.
Oh.
A female employee who is pregnant, it doesn't say female and married employee. But for male, it says.
Makes sense.
Right? Why? You don't have men, we are useless, especially people like me. I can marry 4 legally. I'm a Muslim. So, I wake up in the morning, I automatically got license for 3 more. You know, if I want to live dangerously, I can marry another 3. But what I'm trying to say is, for men, requirement must be married. Right? If there is no requirement to be married, this thing can go crazy. You know why? One guy probably can get this 5 days, 7 days in 1 year. Settle already 5 child.
What is the minimum number of conditions to apply for?
Huh?
What is the minimum number of conditions that you must apply for paid paternity leave?
Okay, then must be married to the mother of the child in question.
Okay.
Right? I must be married to the mother for me to be eligible for the paternity. Right? Must be employed at least 12 months with the same employer. Whereas for the female, it's only 90 days. As long as they work for you 90 days, they are eligible for maternity protection. Right? Must employ 30 days, must inform 30 days in advance of the wife going to deliver. And then eligibility 5 children.
Oh, okay.
Right? Here's the thing, eligibility 5 children, right? Not necessarily 1 wife.
Oh,
Like fellas like me, 4 can go, right? Can be 1 wife, 2 wife, 3 wife, 4 wife. First wife 1 child, the others all 1 each. First one 2, the others all 1. So 1, 1, 1, 5 pretty much settled. Right? But why they put that? The 5, they have to put a limit. Right? Those days, why they put the 5 limit? Those days, you know what's the number of children in one family, right? Most families in Malaysia had a football team. Right? Even my own uncles and aunties, my uncle actually don't even recognize my youngest cousin, that's his child. When you're so great, I forgot it's his own child. People used to, so imagine if you're an employer, bloody hell. Work for me for 10 years, every year got a maternity leave, every year 60 days missing. So, 5. The law limits at 5. After above 5 children can sendiri bayar, unpaid leave. Okay?
Excuse me, can I ask a question? For the mother, the maternity leave, right? 98 days now. So if the staff willing to come back earlier, say maybe 2 months later she wants to come back. So does we as employer need to pay the balance of 38 days?
As long as they're mutually agreed, right, she can come back. Even the days when they say maternity allowance, it's not actually a separate allowance, it's actually the gaji you bayar. Whether you're working or not, she's paid for 98 days, right?
So if she comes back 38 days earlier, so we
Mutual
have to
agreement,
pay.
based on mutual agreement, no more
Oh,
agreement.
alright.
Based on mutual agreement.
It's not by law that we must pay them the extra 38
No,
days.
no. If she comes back and she says, let's make a deal, I'll come back. Right? I don't want to proceed this, I will come back. It's okay. Right?
Does that mean she'll have a 60 day credit?
No.
So
No
it's
credit.
actually really not-
You see why? A lot of them, who are the ones who want to come back early? The ones without the maternity benefit, who don't qualify for it, they will want to quickly come back. Because why? That 98 days gaji tak masuk mah. Gaji tak jalan. Of course they want to come back early immediately. Even after the first month, 30 days, 40 days, they come back to work already. I've had situations like this. Where no choice. They tell you already, give me maximum 40, I feel okay, but we won't allow it also. Go check with the doctor. Check with our doctor. Okay, baru you come back. You know what? The moment you step in and something happens to you, die. Employer is liable already. Although mutually agree, they are liable. Right? So must be careful there. So before she comes back to work, she has to be cleared there, as I put, certified, fit to resume work by a registered medical practitioner. Right? This is certified. Now here's the thing. Last time people take 60 days and then before the 60-day finish, they will send a long email to you, say, you know what, in view of the complication that I had, I would like to apply for another additional 30 days leave. Kena lah again. Or they go to the doctor, dah lah maternity leave over. Now go to doctor, some are severe cases, some this and that, kena hospitalization leave lagi. Already paternity gone. Now I give you another additional 20 days for hospitalization. Cannot do anything. Because some are severe cases. Right? I mean, as a HR manager, I've done things which are quite sad to go and see. Like, you know, when I first went to Pujaya, second week, I had to go and attend a funeral of a staff who died during delivery. I was so sad to go. Right? So, we'll go, all these things. People admitted in hospital, we have to be very clear when they want to come back to work. Even when your staff finish the 98 days, they come back to work, the first thing you check, doctor clear you or not? You okay or not? Because you don't want to come back to work and something happens. If above the 90 days, you're fine. Anything below, you're a bit scary. Okay? But as I said, depending on the job, you can maybe ask them to start work from home. Right? You need, let's say, your marketing person, 98 days, hey, I pay you extra another allowance of 500. Can you work for me these few days from home? They will do. People are sitting at home. As long as you have the relationship, can be done anything. I'll share with you something. I started working in IHR Consulting. Now I'm a partner. You know, the days when I was an employee, I was an employee for 10 years. Right? I don't even have an employment contract. What I have is a shake hand with my partner. I'm hired. Thank you. This is the job. This is what I pay you. This is the expectation. 10 years. We never had salary dispute. We never had any disputes. Right? I left properly also. I resigned properly. I went on my own. After that, I went back as a partner. But the thing is that employment contracts doesn't mean nothing. Right? At the end of the day, is what's the relationship you have with your people. If you have a good relationship, formalities can be thrown out of the window. Because you know what? Formalities, rules, regulation are those people that you cannot trust. Right? I remember as an employee, Sam knows my partner very well. Go out every night practically entertaining client drinking. Can wake up in the morning at 5:30, send a message. Boss, I'm having a massive hangover. I don't think I can come to work today. I'll work from home. He will reply back at 6:30. Okay, finish. Now, I see him next day. Oh, so how? Sorry, I shouldn't go to office. You hangover, I say hangover. Boss will hangover. But the thing is that because you expect me to sit and entertain clients, next morning you don't come, you don't make no smoke. Give me the leeway. Right? Now, what do I do? In the afternoon you feel guilty that was so nice. Guilty. Okay, go get ready, go to work. Right? Imagine if that time my employee is an asshole. Get out, I just go to the nearest clinic, get a 3-day MCSE. What you can do to me? Right? But because we have the relationship, right? So one day he asked me, Dave, you know, in an average year, how many days leave you take? I said, how many days? You got about 20 to 25 days leave. Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, you're taking too much leave. My answer to him, bro, I don't even have a contract, bro. I don't even have leave. So, what I'm trying to get at is, it's not about what you write in your contract. The contract is there as a guideline and a parameter. It's the relationship between you and your people. That's the most important. If you have a good one, you can do anything. Flexible work arrangement. In Malaysia now can ask regular, but don't worry, it's not employer is not compelled to allow it. Alright, imagine your driver suddenly say, I want to work from home. Or your cook tell you, now I want to work from home. Or okay, I arrange Grab driver, and then the order I send Grab to pick up. Right? Cannot, right? So you must see nature of job. Right? So this, how should I say, it's there, but it's not mandatory. They are not going to enforce it. Right? They just want to make people happy, put it in the law. But they cannot enforce it. Right? Because, you see, we can make flexible arrangement. For example, if your company is continuing, let's say manufacturing, running 3 shifts, and you are a new mother and you cannot cope, you can work. I work from this hour to this. But company is not, factory is running continuous. So you can make a flexible arrangement in terms of working hours. Right? But imagine a factory that finishes at 6. You cannot work at 9. Very difficult to get a flexible hour because everybody is working with the same shift. Right? So we need to look at it. Secondly, when you have somebody on flexible work arrangement, you must make sure your terms and conditions are very clear. For example, if today this young man is supposed to work 5 days a week, 5 days, so he comes to us and says, you know what, Mr. Sam, now I only want to work 3 days a week. Then what do you want to do the next 2 days? Next 2 days, I want to meditate only. Or the next 2 days I only want to do Bitcoin. Right? So Sam will do what? Okay, no problem. Okay, you can only work 3 days. Okay, no problem. Now I go back, I take his salary, I divide it by 31 days, right? Then I say how much is he paid per day. Then I'll go back to him and say, okay, totally I'm paying you like this now, but since you're going to work only 3 days for me, this is the new salary. Alright? Your transport allowance last time 1 month is 1,000. Now because you only work 3 days, average only 20 days a month, I have to reduce that too. If all this is workable for you, you sign it, I sign it.
And that is not confined to minimum wages.
That, as long as it's above the 1,500. Right?
And how many days do you usually divide it with?
26 days.
26 days.
Used to be 31, 31 or 30. But over the years, it's been changed straight off 26 days when it comes to OT calculation, this one. But when it comes to leave pay, you still go back to 31 days or 30 days. OT is at 26 days. Unpaid leave, 26 days. All that will go on 26. Okay. So here, so must be careful. I have a lot of, because over the years we have done this. We have a guy who used to work for us. 3 days he works for us, 2 days he has got other things to do. So only comes in 3 times a week, and that also scheduled by us when we need him. So we use him as a dispatch and also to do a lot of things. So we know which day of the week we need him most. Schedule him. Many years he used to work like that. After that only, when he became good at it, then he wanted to concentrate full on HR. Then we changed his contract. So it can be done as long as it's mutually agreed and signed off. Anything can be done. Right? Even for your side, maybe you have an expert cook or certain promotion you want to do for your restaurant. Right? You may need this person only for 6 months. You can bring him in on a 6 months arrangement. Right? For this 6, or you can tell, for this 12 months, you only work for me these 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is your salary. Can? Yes.
Is there like a minimum amount of hours or days or weeks you need to work before you can request a flexible working arrangement?
No.
So, for example, as soon as after 2 weeks, I will request one from the seller. That's okay.
In that sense, it will be due to management discretion. Right? Normally, like recently I wrote a policy for this. One of the conditions I put was confirmed employees. I put a condition in already. Confirmed employees. Right? And listed down, this is a client I know very well, listed down the jobs that can go FWA, listed down the jobs that cannot go under FWA. Make it where we readjusted the handbook. So we just, so those people in this position don't dream, huh? Right? For example, suddenly a forklift driver comes and tells me, "Wow, office people all get flexible, I don't have flexible." Who asked you not to go to school? Who asked you not to study in school? Am I to be blamed for your stupidity? No, right? You should have thought about this when you were in school last time, right? Sometimes I'm very insulting because people need to get it to their head where they are. For example, when somebody comes and tells me, "Oh, you know, sir, I've been working in this job for 11 years. You think I don't know what I'm doing?" I think you don't know what you're doing. 11 years you're doing the same damn thing. Bro, this is not experience. This is monkey learn one time, monkey doing for 11 years. You know, the first creature to go to space was a monkey. Because what? Monkey see, monkey do, you're doing the same damn thing. But suddenly, the 11 years experience washed down the drain. What? You learn for 1 year, repeat 11 years, mom. Doesn't make you good. I told him, I've been in the hotel industry lesser than you, but I'm from this position, I'm your boss. You tamanu. Because these are very hardcore people, You go there, cannot manage them. They are the one who fight with you, they are like union leader. Come on. First thing, you must wake them up. Bro, you're not that bright. If not, like people tell you, "Oh, ladies, I want to leave." Leave, lah. Am I holding you? Go, lah. What, you think my job now? Go, it's okay, go. The moment you try to convince people to stay back, then you are saying your company is no good. That if this person goes, the company can collapse. I told this to a CEO. I told him straight, he said, "Hey brother, you think what? Dato build this company depending on you, huh? Yeah, look, CEO can be replaced. You know who I cannot replace? You see those guys on the production floor? They cannot replace. You can be replaced. But CEO, ma, I take you what? Production still run well. If I take the production manager off, my production can't go. But I take the CEO, production still running, ma. My security still working, everybody still working. Sometimes people don't even know CEO already fired. That makes you so insignificant, right? Like not important. That's because you have made your position not important. Right? So you must be very clear when you want people to work for you. What you expect, what you want. So all this you clearly list down. You can list down and say what are the positions you allow this, what are the positions you don't allow this. In fact, if you are running a restaurant and somebody comes to say, Aaron, I cannot work 5 times a week, 5 days a week, I don't know, 6 days a week. I can only commit 4 days for you. Okay, Aaron, why not? The guy work for you 4 days, good enough, huh? Right? And you pay him lesser, huh? Divide the salary. As long as you're within the 1,005, you're safe, you can do anything. Right? Go ahead. Doesn't mean that you have to put people that 48 hours, no. You can write as long as it's in a black and white, both parties agree, sign, can be done. Right? So I've done this kind of flexible contracts. 15, 20 years we've been doing it already. And it really works. If you really get everything very clear, it really works. Seriously, it works. Your labor cost also can be managed very well.
Yeah, even through the specific formula you use again, like say it's taking, for example, like right now, an example is a 4 staff that only able to work for 4 days a week.
Okay. And what's the rate now for staff? The basic.
Say example is 1,800.
1,800. You take 1,800, divide by 31 days. Right?
31.
That use the 31 because slightly lesser to be like that.
So then
You
you
put 26, they are burned already. So you go below the 1,005. So now you take 31, divide by 31, right? Times back the number of days they're going to work. Average you can come out with the salary. Or you can even do a 30% reduction straight away.
30%.
30, you can say, for you to do 4 days, I can do a 30% reduction from the salary. Because if 4 days, that's about what? 20% reduction from the normal working hours? Okay, you go 20% reduction, no? On the hours, as long as you don't drop below the 1,005.
Also, the minimum, the threshold is 1,500. Anything below that is no.
For a full-time employee, not allowed. However, if you still can, the contract clearly write it down, and why is the salary there? Because we are paying the full salary, but you are the one who wants to do this. So as long as it's in black and white, written properly, signed off, you're safe. Right? It could be even 1,003, but it doesn't work the full 48 hours in a week.
So you can even dictate the number of hours you have to fulfill a week as well.
You can dictate, you can offer. Right? But if it comes to see you and say work out with you, then work out something which is workable for him and workable for you. Right? In that way, you also get a good employee who's happy works for you. You also happy in that sense you can manage the situation. You know? Remember I was telling you about the rostering? Yeah. You need to check. Like when I run retail outlets, from the time I open my door until I close my last bill, I do a trend analysis for the first 3 months when I first opened the Gurney outlet to tell me where is my business coming from, which are the time slots where my business come from. So I break it down, right? So then once I understand the trend, it's easy for me to do my rostering. Because then I make sure at all my peak periods I have, how should I say, full menu. So that's my way of manpower optimization. Whoever's around, I optimize to the max, right? Because the way I roster them. So at my peak hours, I got full menu all the time. I don't have to kalang kabut. All my peak hours, my lunch, my dinner, my late coffee, all my peak hours, menu is there. Sometimes during peak hours, I got even 2 baristas running. Because the transition shift, while this is still in the morning, this is coming already. Right? So while the turnover is going on, that's the most busiest hour. I got 2 baristas doing it. One does the cold, one does the hot. Right? The one who does the cold, even will prepare the coffee, pass it to him. He'll just say, I want this, he'll pass it to him. They do. Comes out fast. Imagine if that peak hour I had 1 barista. I got 2 baristas, it's running out. I'm not paying anybody overtime. It's because the way I rostered it, at that peak hour, I got 2 guys running. My kitchen transition time, right, is also a peak hour time. So morning crew is there, afternoon crew comes in at 2, that's where lunch is at its peak during a weekend, and also that's time the things are finishing. So these guys come in, manage lunch, things are replenished. So my operation is not disturbed or impacted because of people. My customer don't suffer because my people are not in place. So I managed that. So that over the years became a practice, and the reflection is on the customer, how they feel. Because number one, you make sure your food is all there already. Your service is not disturbed. Coffee, no need to wait so long. Right? Coffee is the one that we wait most for, longest. You cannot 20 coffee orders, some code already. You better tell the customer, a lot of coffee orders now, you don't mind eating. I always say that, and I'm busy, I'll go. So, how we do this boils down to how you want to manage this. What works for your business? Okay? What works for you? Sam, if this boy come and ask you for 3 days week or I cannot, he wants flexible working hours.
Already got it.
It's already got it already.
I would like to ask,
Yes,
for
ma'am.
some positions like marketing,
Mhm.
sales team and all that, so their payroll are like half basic and mostly are from the commissions basis.
Okay.
So when doing the appointment at the time, we used to say that there's no bonus plan, but there's a lot of incentive plan. That means that however much the partner that we have set for them, as long as they reach the target, so they will have a lot of incentive. So if we calculate that incentive, it's definitely much higher than the OD that we
Okay.
do. So in this case, so how this come
Okay.
in, the hours come in?
The hours can be okay. You see, madam, we let's say look at salesperson. How many days they work in a week?
6 days.
6 days, right? Okay, and with that, about 7 hours, including break and everything, 7 hours a day. Right? Average they work about 40 hours. You don't normally salespeople no overtime. Right? Because a salesperson doesn't operate 9 to 5.
Anytime they want.
Anything. Right? So don't worry so much about them. They are not eligible for it. Because they are giving a commission, incentive, and all that. Alright? If it's really a damn good salesman or salesperson, and they can do the job within 8 hours and still reach the target, very enough.
Okay.
Right? But for those who still, for salespeople, don't worry. Okay? However, I also want to suggest something to you. If you got a salesperson running on salary and commission, you know what? I'll call the person back and say, hey, you want to work as an agency? You market for me, I pay you on project basis. Right? Future hiring. Future hiring. Don't hire as an employee. Hire as a service provider. You don't have to be in my office 9 to 5. These are all your scope of work. This is all the deliverable you need to do. This is what you need to achieve. Apart from this, each time you achieve, I give you a retainer fee for your basic coverage. But then everything else is commission. So, immediately your exposure for EPF gone, so gone already. Because as far as EPF is concerned, whatever that goes into the salary is EPF claimable. EPF deductible. Right? So, a lot of organizations have done this already, especially for the marketing part. Right? Because when you pay someone a salary to do marketing, what happens? I got basic salary. I just have to look to the boss. Last 10 days of the month, I look busy. And then I look stressed, boss will appreciate. Because first 20 days, boss also not around. Last 10 days, boss also come very hard. After that, no sale. But you know what? Still get basic. Right? Or one miserable or two miserable customer, servicing that customer only. No new customer. Right? I got an organization, 5 years story here. First year, second year, third year. Oh, this person come in as sales manager, right? Salary 5,000, 8,000, keep going up. Why? Revenue going up all the time. And then in 5 years, he touched 1.5 million. His salary was almost like 25,000 already. Right? The next 10 years, he didn't move from 1.5 million. He's remained at 1.5 million. His salary has gone to 45,000. So I drew it on the board and I asked the business owner, you tell me what's the problem here. He looked at it, shit. Wow. I said, last time like that, now like that already. That means you pay him more than what he's working for. The sales has not changed, still at 1.2 billion. However, here's the thing, because of price and all that, the quantity is lesser, the revenue is there. That means you're still not doing your job. Or sales in terms of units has gone down. So these are the little things that we need to be very sure, madam. For marketing, we can consider that, madam. You know, something like that. Because if you're paying a full-time salary, then they have to be able to make sure the ROI is 3 times what you're paying them. If the ROI is not 3 times of what you're paying them, then it's rookie ready for you. Right? Because you're paying basic, and then you pay all the transport claim, right? Toll claim, parking claim, everything you pay. On top of that, you pay commission. You calculate back and see your net profit gone already. So maybe you want to look at it other ways.
But what happened if the sales team, the salesperson, is doing the designing and all the, marketing content and all that. So taking pictures and all that. So somehow they need to come in and work.
So yours marketing person is your social media person, is your digital person,
Yes.
content person. But if I were you, I'll take care of that person very well.
Yes, you are right.
Because if this person leaves, now you need to hire 5 people to replace. One for marketing, one for social media, one for digital marketing, and so on, content development, photography. If I were you, this person come to work tomorrow. Thank you very much. You're my good friend. Okay. Right. So this is based on some research we did, on what's happening next year. Right? This year, sorry. Not so good, as 2002. 22 with all the challenges we had, it was a good year for everybody. It's a year from recovery from COVID, and we really did well. You can see, look around Penang itself, you can see the recovery is very good. Right? Penang itself, what, 66.6 billion FDI in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Direct investment coming into Penang, 66.6 billion, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? I saw the thing the other day. Then, the ringgit, of course, we know is weakening. Right? It will take another year or so for it to go down the 4 ringgit time. Right? The ringgit is from 380 went to 4, now at 440 now. 440. Right? I play Forex, I happy though. Every time I convert, I happy. But the thing is that, if you look at business, for Malaysia, it's actually going to be tough, especially F&B operators. Right? Your ingredients are important. You see, Malaysia, you don't grow coffee bean, man. You have to import your coffee, you have to buy imported coffee bean. So a lot of items you're buying imported. But because the ringgit is weakening, your cost is going to go up already. Right? So it's also going to be increasing your labor cost. Wow. Because why? Last time only the fellow with 2,000 and below get overtime. Now, anybody 4,000 and below got overtime already. Suddenly jump up already. So your exposure or labor cost is going to be pretty high. Next, cost reduction. This is something all organizing. Not about cutting costs, it's about managing your costs right. Right? Because we have proven and we have seen all the time in any recession, manage your purse properly, tighten everything properly, you can survive too. Right? And also continue doing business. So, what to expect is not bad, but it's not very exciting. We need to be prepared for this. Especially, IMF is saying that we are heading for a world recession already, global recession in 2023. All the forecast is showing it's going that way, right? How can we move forward? Okay? I think some of the things that we have done and we have done with our clients, firstly, make the organization strong, right? Focus on organizational capabilities, right? Optimization of manpower and productivity, right? If today 3 people resign, you must ask yourself, do I need to replace 3? Right? Can I just replace 1? The other 2 I look at something. I do flexible skills, something like that. You know what? That's now we need to optimize everybody that comes to work. For example, if Aaron got 3 first working in a shift, that 3 has to be used to the maximum to achieve what is being achieved in the restaurant for that shift. Right? Cannot be this person say, oh, I'm not this. No. 3 people come in, we need to have a plan in place to maximize these 3. In these 8 hours, what are they going to do? So we must always ensure that we are optimizing our manpower. If you have workers, you need to upgrade their skills. You need to reskill them. You need to teach them new things or enhance what already they know already. Right? Because for you to keep up in the industry with your other industry players, okay? Just to my madam, I bring you all as an example. 10 years span only if you look at it. In the last 10 years, cafe concept, out of hand we see so many already, right? That means to get a good latte in Penang, I don't have to drive to Gurney Plaza. I just swing anywhere in Penang store, I can get a good latte. Right? The way cafes are mushrooming in Penang is crazy. But the customers are there. The culture is there. Right? However, what makes you different from others? Right? I went to this place recently in Bishop Street. Right? Overly on the Facebook, and my wife will always find these new places, and she said, we'll go there today. The moment she said Bishop Street, I'm like, there's no parking there. Town area, where got parking? So okay, we go on a Sunday. Pushing, managed to find parking. Sat there, the owner of the place was an awesome guy. I don't know, owner or manager, but the staff all, how should I put that? They are borderline between headless chicken and duck lah. Right? I can't blame them. Number 1 is crowded. Number 2, they are not equipped or trained to the level to handle that. Right? The first thing the business owner told me is this: today really stuck up. 2 of my kitchen guys cannot come. See, number 1 rule in this food business: if you don't know how to cook, don't know how to run a restaurant. I was good cafe manager, but I trained myself over the years in the hotel. So I can safely wear the safe jacket. When somebody, when I first came to Penang, I actually got a sabotage. 5 of my kitchen people didn't turn up. I didn't care, I got the chef jacket, I was cooking. So next day the message went out, guys, that doesn't work with this guy. You take, he can do, he can cook himself. So the next day all 5 came, I said, since I don't need you, you, better leave. Because as a manager, I'll find against it, fire you. Okay? Oh, tada, today also you can do that. But I can wear jacket only 2 days, so can wear no issue only. You must be there. If you are not good at it, then don't open the business. Because you know why? Suddenly the kitchen guy don't turn up. Yes. How to do business? If he doesn't know how to do coffee, your barista don't turn up or your barista go on strike. That means I come to Craftsman tomorrow, sorry, no coffee, only tea. And ice water. Whatever bottle it, no ice water. Because why? We depend on one person. So this is very important. I always believe wherever I work, my number 2, my number 3, everybody has to be as good as me. If they're not any good as me, I'll fire them. Why? Then I don't need you if you're not as good as me. How am I going to serve my customers well? So in the business of customer service, you must always think one thing: oh, is this enough? No, it's never enough. People are like that, right? Because as a customer, my choice is like that. Right? Why would I choose a particular outlet? Me? Basically, it's the service and the people. The taste, quality comes next. I like the people, the way, don't have to be super English or me. The moment you acknowledge me, you're nice, you got the basic, I'm good already. The moment I must show, you don't even have the fundamental design, nobody's going to know. So, again, don't have to have 20 people working for you. 15 people is for highly skillful, good enough already. And then, your waiter must be able to do barista. Must know fundamental knowledge how to do it. Right? Someone working in front must be able to go inside there and do a sandwich without any issue. That's how we. So, once we do the upskill and reskill, you're safe. So, in our industry, food industry, it's very important. Right? Because a lot of times, The restaurant always, excuse my language, screw up because chef don't turn up. Chef didn't come. Right? I have a Malay friend who opened a kedai makan. After 1 week, I said, shop open, tak ada orang tukang masak balik kampung. I said, Hamdi bodoh ke apa? Kedai you punya, tukang masak tak ada you tutup kedai. Bangan tak bangan? I told you in the beginning, this is not your forte. You're not a cook. Don't go into food business. When he told me he went to Melbourne, is how he got his coffee culture. Immediately I drink his coffee here, I already know already. Wow, this guy really follow. He bring his own culture into it. Right? If today's barista goes off, he just tend to go off, you can do it yourself, right? Right? Because the boss himself is a experienced barista. So it must be working like that. Okay? Right. What does this mean? Something to share with you before you go back. Okay? The way forward, this is our practice now, right? We need to hire fast, but we can't fire fast. We have to fire slow to fire. In Malaysia, this is important. The law expects to see, slow to fire. Quick to hire, slow to fire. That's the current model of running. I would like to suggest this: slow to hire, slow to fire. Why slow to hire? 2023, we don't know how it's going to be, right? We're looking at things as they're going to be. Don't invest in manpower yet. Don't invest in hiring more than you can. Ensure your manpower planning, everything is in place. Ensure your contracts are in place. Make sure your job scopes are clear. So once your job scopes are clear, you become very slow to hire. You hire only the most suitable candidate. Not the right candidate, not the perfect candidate, the most suitable candidate to do the job. Right? So to get the most suitable candidate, you need to do a bit of work. You need to sit down and write, okay, for this position, what is the requirement? What is the behavior I expect? You need to write it down. Right? In our organization, every position, we have already drafted down what is the key accountability and what is the deliverable of each job. Why? So we don't have any ambiguity. So here, you need to be slow to hire, don't hire quickly. Don't panic hire. Right? That's why I said, if you're opening a restaurant, you know how to cook, it's okay. Chef kena, tak apa, I boleh masak. No problem. Recipe set by me, standards done by me. The chef come and cook only well. The chef didn't create the recipe, I created the recipe. Right? So why do I worry? No, I don't. May not be as good as the chef, but my customer don't go hungry, no. Right? I don't have to go malu tell the customer, sorry, today I have to shop for no chef. I can say, sorry, the coffee tastes not so good, Aaron is making it. At least I can joke with the customer like that. Rather than telling the customer, sorry, today no coffee, no barista. See the difference? So, this is very crucial. So take your time to hire. Don't rush. Do good manpower planning. Right? Sometimes you think there is a gap or there is a need. May not be a need. Take a step back. Look at it. Do I really need this? Can I afford it? Don't simply hire because very difficult later. So be very slow to hire. Be very sure that you need that position. Sit down and talk to, if you got partners, ask them, hey, if I want to take this position, the ROI I expect is this much, but I need to take out this much. Are you comfortable? You must ask yourself all these questions. Right? Because as we are going, as I said, we are heading towards a recession. The last thing you want is high labor costs and having to take good working people. Because at this juncture, you don't hire right, you have to let go, right? That itself is already going to disturb you from doing your job. You're all going to be delayed in all this unnecessary thing you do instead of managing your business. So be slow to hire. If you have vacancy, let it be. You don't know what's the next quarter going to be, let it be. Right? I remember staff coming to me, boss, bila nak hire people? I said, why? No, what shortage of staff? You should be telling, I'm telling. Right? You're working, right? So why are you telling me shortage? Just not now. Let me worry about shortage. Even my HQ will ask me, hey, we still got 3 more people to take. What are you going to take? Wait, huh? Wait. No need to rush. Look at the business. I can manage within what I have. Right? Unless terrible, bad situation, part-timers ada mah. So many of them available. Just bring them over. So, be slow to hire. So, you are slow to fire also. When you are slow to hire, rarely you fire. Because you hire right. You get things right. Only when you hire like this, quick hire, you end up firing. Because what? You take a close gap method. Close gap approach. Rather than resolving it. Right? Sometimes an increase in manpower doesn't help you. Right? A lot of times you see a lot of factories, this is where they fail. Especially local owned MNCs. Right? They are supporting, let's say, Jabil. Jabil is a big, this one. Jabil's, let's say, order goes up by this one, these people have to hire people to do that. So ask the business owner, let me ask you this. Your revenue per employee, let's calculate now. You got 1,800 employees, right? Your revenue per year is 300 million, right? Calculate that with 1.8. Your customer is Jabil, but Jabil has got 2,000 employees, but Jabil's revenue is 1 billion. Jabil can have 2,000 employees, you cannot. Because you cannot, because you overhire, you can't pay people good salary, you can't do increment, you can't do all that. And then you complain turnover very high, people, obviously. So the bunch of managers sitting in the meeting, I just told this guy, hey, last you hired 100, right? You brought in, you call it what they call escalate order. You hired 100, right? Yeah. Can you tell me, from the money they are going to make, the extra 100 you hired, how is it impacting your cost? Of course, the company's revenue also hit, man. But because you don't see the small picture, you keep looking at the big picture, you think your company is successful. But in actual fact, you're just running on bank loans. You're just rolling your money. Why? Because in paper it looks all good. So very important how you hire. When you are slow to hire, you don't even have to fire. If you have 3 vacancies, maybe take 1 and look at it. Right? But before you hire, you said this does not matter. Make sure position A. Number 1, what is the deliverable of this job? Like I said, 2 things, right? Quality. So what does it mean to do quality? What standard you want to see? What standard of behavior is expected? We give that 10 baru jalan. Right? Another thing, when people come for an interview, always remember, they are selling themselves to you. They are marketing their brand to you. So in the interview, they'll tell you a lot of things. So a suggestion to all of you. If you are bringing someone for a marketing job, right? Before the interview and apply itself, you should tell him or her, the candidate, can you come with us? This is the topic. Can you come with a slide? Tell us your plan to market what? Right? I remember when I was very young, I went to an interview with Toyota. That time I was 23, 22 maybe. For a salesman interview. And Mr. Ratnam, the HR manager, took out something, he took a pen. And recently I did in Google also, people know that trick. He gave me the pen and he just said to me, sell the pen. So I thought of something like Toyota, car showroom, mechanic. Mechanic is a good idea. I said, this pen is oil proof, waterproof. It's also got non-slip grip. All that explanation I gave her. So you go sit down outside, then I walk out. Another Chinese boy from Penang also was sitting there. This interview was happening here. I said, why you never go back? No, he asked me to wait. So the mother was waiting. The rest we came was to go back. We got the job. Then I asked him why. Very simple. When I asked you to sell that, immediately you could think of how to sell it. That's the salesman. So if I'm a marketing guy, right, and Aaron hires me in the interview, Aaron says, how are you going to market my outlet? And the guy tells you, oh, Mr. Aaron, I need some time because, I'm so used to, marketing other products. Don't even talk to the guy anymore. Take the coffee away from him. If you plunge on coffee, take him out. Ask him to go. Right? If you say you're a marketing guy, you can market anything. Right? From the Arang, Chakor, Batu, to ice to Eskimo, you must be able to market. Because marketing, it should not be fixed. Oh, I only pharmaceutical product I know to market. Then I don't need you. So you need to be very sure who are you. Every aspect, okay, this person need to do sales. What are the customer this is going to need? Right? So even the customer, so once you get that right, when the person comes to the job, you will have less problems because you yourself are sure what it needs to be done. And that person who comes in from day one knows, oh, okay, this is what I need to do. So when you have that, it's easier for you to do your work, it's easier for you to progress in the business rather than managing a poor performing employee. That's the whole idea of this slow to hire, slow to fire. Right? Right. We have come to the last part of our session today. And any questions, any more questions you want to share or you want to ask? Any more questions? Right? I have this thing, whenever I do trainings in GLCs, everybody is quiet, right? So I'll go around the room, I say, today to start the program, I give you 10 minutes. Ask me a question about me. I tell you the fun you can see people. The ones who are very open-minded, different and ask you stupid questions. The ones who are very timid, you just keep quiet and don't even dare ask you questions. So, any questions, guys, before we finish off the day?
Excellent presentation. Thank you very much. I learned a lot.
Thank you very much. Glad you did. Right? It's not about number of people. It's whoever is here. As long as we share. I enjoyed myself. Okay, like I always do when I'm sharing HR. And it's good
One
that
question.
yes, madam, please shoot.
Okay, so if there is any employee, they have some emotion problem, says that sometimes when they feel irritated and then they can simply just get angry and show some face and all that, and which affect the colleagues, mood to work. Right?
Yeah.
So in this case, can we issue warning?
You can actually talk to the person first.
Yeah.
Right?
Talk already and then repeatedly again.
Then can issue. Because you see, this is a very selfish person, right? All of us got problems, right? Do we bring it to work? We don't, right? Yes, we cannot forget the problem, but we cannot make it other people's problem. So you have every day as an employer, for the benefit of other employees, you must take action.
Yeah, because he happened to be quite hardworking, happened to be quite honest, but it's just that the emotion part is the problem. So this is like, we feel it's like, not right to say it's a warning letter, something like that.
You have to.
Sometimes the emotion is not under their control. Sometimes they have got that kind of, maybe some kind of emotion problems and all that.
Clinically only proven is depression is a
Depression,
proven
yes.
depression clinically proven. It's a condition. It's a medical condition. Depression. However, to be diagnosed as depressive, you have to go to the proper doctors to diagnose you. Then only they can take action.
Yeah.
Right? Generally, people who show emotion and all that, generally selfish.
Selfish.
Yes. Right? I remember working in when I was a junior staff. That time just promoted to senior supervisor. And one morning my boss walked into work. She's a lady boss. And I said, we address her as Machi because she's a local. She's a Penang and we all are working in Singapore. So we become very like kampung because we are all from Penang. So I greeted her as, no, good morning, Machi. What's so damn good about the morning? Please follow me forward. I went to the back. I made a coffee for her. I made a coffee for me. The next time you come here and talk to me like that, you better have an apology. You have no right to talk to me like that. You got a problem? Keep it at home or don't come to work at all. Right? If 31 of us got problem, your customer in trouble. You want us all to show our emotion. You as our boss, you have to show a better example. Now enjoy the coffee, boss. Just sat there and deal. She just walk up. But the thing is that I just gave it back to her what she preached. Right? Even Aaron as the business owner has no right to come and show his emotion. You as the business owner have no right to show your emotion.
That's right.
So if somebody working for you, do they have the right to show their emotion?
No.
And make other people that problem? No, you must take action.
Okay.
A lot of time, good hard-working people are like our pet employee. This pet will become pest. From a pet employee, become a pest, become a problem. Why? Suddenly, boss like me, anything I say, boss listen. Right? So, don't let that. Don't let this thing grow. Put a stop to it. A lot of people ask me about mental health at work. I say I don't hire psychos. You come and work for me, I pay you a salary, but I have to worry about your emotion, I have to worry about your mental health, I have to worry about your baby's health. No. I only have to make sure I give you a good environment to work, proper guidance, good outline, clear job scope, end of the month I pay you a salary. That's my responsibility. So don't take it, take action. One time verbal, next time give return. Again give return. Third, no need to return, you call me.
Two written, right? But
Two written.
the
Third written also
warning-
can. Third written
No,
also can.
The written warning letter must be signed by them, right?
Doesn't have to be. See, once I give Aaron a letter, he take the letter, I don't want to sign. The fact I already give, you taken, doesn't make any difference whether you sign or not. Even let's say I send him WhatsApp, the warning letter. As far as I'm concerned, I've issued.
Oh.
You cannot go, oh, I don't accept. Doesn't make any difference to me. Whether you accept or not, it's in your file. This, I know a lot of stuff last time, I remember the first time I encountered this in Berjaya. Oh, macam mana aku tambah sign? You tambah sign. Who told you this? Your union advised you that you don't sign the letter, it doesn't work. The moment I type this warning, it's considered issued. Okay? The moment my signature go on this letter, it's issued.
But they do have the right to, like, say, if they're really not happy about it, they can just go to JTK and just issue.
Report lah. Go lah, the JTK report. You go lah. I take my warning letter, I'll go lah. You go report the JTK. Oh, saya dapat warning letter. Do you know what JTK will tell you? Oh, I got warning letter. That's why I can't report. The JTK officer, you kena fire already. Belum, boleh.
So do you mean that warning letter be prepared, we take one and give to them one, and then after two, then the third one it can be the termination
No,
letter.
no, third one cannot report. That's why I say, after the second one, you have to call me already. After the second show cause letter, so second warning letter, again the same thing happened, we go to show cause already. That means this is ready to exit. Right? Show cause will be, give me a reason, a written explanation why I should not take serious action against you for this behavior.
Okay.
Let's say the person say, no, you still don't accept. After that, okay, I don't accept your explanation. Now I'm going to charge you. Alright, and you're going to attend a domestic inquiry. Normally, people don't want to attend a domestic inquiry, they will leave before that.
Okay.
Right? So the show cause very important. You want to fire someone, there must be due process. Right? You know what? It's a bit hard work, but the thing is that it saves you a lot of money. Right? Because the moment you lose one step in termination, you better go to the first meeting with JTK or IR. Okay, Prapa must settle. You better settle. Because you don't settle, finish. You go to court. Court, automatically you need to pay your lawyer and whatever compensation. So if possible, try to resolve it before it gets there. Right? So for example, like say emotional, right? A lot of organizations, some people got, they poke like, they'll do like that, right? Or melata, what they say melata. And some people say vulgarities. So one day I was passing by in the hotel, this lady said something, and this lady, like terkejut, right? They're surprised, and they started using vulgarities and all that. I stopped, I turned. I told the HOD of the department, I said, you and your staff cannot see me. I said, what happened? Why? Oh, I cannot got no control over there. And I said, really? I said, in that case, I have to send you for psychiatric treatment to review, because normal human beings don't do that. So while I was saying that, I actually had my driver come walk into my office, right? And I poked him in the same way like that. Hey, he did like that. Oh, I said, dia pun tak kata apa pun. Pasal apa you macam ni? Because everybody has been complaining about the lady to me. She's very vulgar. So I said, no, saya tak ada control. Really, Okay. I said, no, man. But bad is, I'm monitoring you. She went out, she came back to the office. I said, what? No, actually, I said something I'm not going to try. I said, bullshit. You can say the vulgar words exactly, repeat, and there is like a song to it. Right? I've seen you 5 times, I told her. Hey, people react, they don't have a lyric. Either you are talking to morons, keep it there, don't bring it to me. One more time I hear this, I'll make sure I give you a warning letter. Don't play. Suddenly that one no more already, ma. Pop only, like a 10-20 second tirade, you know. Like a poem, you know. I say, what the hell? Yeah, it's happening in the back of the house, but I don't have to listen to that crap. Other people don't have to listen to your crap, right? Put a stop to it. So, as an employer, you have a lot of rights, right? You have a lot of rights to say what you want and don't want, right? Because at the end of the day, it boils down to the employment contract. I agree, I give you, this is your position, this is the salary, this is the working hours, this is the terms, this is the benefits, done. You agree? Agree? Fine. Finish. Tomorrow cannot come and tell me, hey Sam, wow man, 9 to 5, how long myself come from 9 to 5, I'm staying in Batumau. Bloody hell, when he came for the interview, you're still staying in Batumau, right? Suddenly now get the job, you complaining Batumau to Penang for very far. So this is where we need to be careful. Okay? Any more questions, man? So rule number 1, don't hire crazy people. MNC man director asked me, Daniel, what do you think about employee mental health? I said, boss, don't go and hire crazy people, boss. Then he asked me, why you say that? I said, boss, your job is to hire people, pay people salary, make sure they get salary on time, make sure they perform. Whether they cuckoo or not cuckoo, even their father mother cannot help, you can help. Cannot. So don't go. You know?
Okay.
True or not, madam?
Yep.
If the whole family cannot help the psycho, you're going to help us. How to help? Right? So when you have a psycho, how do you get rid of a psycho? I've done, I had to do it. This lady had gone cuckoo. One day when I was traveling back from the airport to the hotel, I saw her walking in the middle of the highway like that, in Langkawi. On the middle of the highway. I was like, what the hell is that? I was telling the driver, hey, itu bukan kita punya staff ke? Oh, bos kita punya staff. Next day reach office, I said, no call us. Make an appointment with Alustar Hospital. Get my 2 girls, HR girls, to accompany her to Alustar. Go to the medical review there. True enough, she was actually diagnosed as that psychotic, and we had to let her go. Right? After that, we did all the compensation and everything. So here's the scary part. 1 week later, coming to work, parking my car, I get out, she's standing behind my car. I'm like, oh my god, I hope she's not carrying any knife or anything in her hand. I get out from the car, I went, Assalamualaikum. Ya tuan, tuan saya nak kerja balik. Like, okay. Ya, kalau you pergi ke security, you ambil borang, you see. Okay, tak apa, you tunggu sini, I pergi security, I ambil. So, hotel security, dia ada kok. Nanti isi balik. Tapi tak sihat kan, duduk rumah rest. Okay kan, your children are okay. Then 2 weeks later, she'll come back again. Like that, but gone. We feel pity. But I have a responsibility to my guests. Imagine she take a knife and poke my customer. So sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. You have to be cruel to one person to be kind to 100 people. That's the rule of thumb. So if people are showing emotions at work, confront. Don't allow. Confront. Say it's not acceptable behavior.